Alright guys, welcome back. So in today's video we are going to be going over the build list that I have so far on my 2015 Tacoma TRD Pro. And as you guys know, my name is Evan, also known as the Storm Taco, and we'll go ahead and get into this here. We'll give you a quick little walk around side view here for you. And then we'll jump right on into, we'll start on the front here for you. So I'll go ahead and get up there to the front and point you guys out to some of the things we've got going on up there. Alright guys, so as you can see up here in the front, we do have the AlphaRex headlights, and I definitely went with these ones because I like the quad projectors there. They are super bright and pretty fantastic. They honestly make it super easy driving on the road, where you don't even need fog lights anymore, honestly, because those are just ridiculously bright. And then over here with the grill, what we've got is the TRD Pro version 2 grill. I believe this can now be found on Taco Vinyl. It's not where I got it from originally, but I think that's who sells it now. And honestly, I like this grill a lot because it's unique, and it kind of models off of like one of the Tundra models, I think. And I don't know, I think it adds a cool feature. I'm definitely looking to see if I can find one where we can get the Toyota up higher, like the 4th gen look kind of thing. That's what I'm looking for. And I do have a front-facing camera there, which I do plan to upgrade because it's kind of garbage. And just below, recessed behind, I believe is a 32-inch light bar, and I think it's just an aux beam or something cheap off of Amazon that I put in there a couple years ago. The fog lights, the housing is stock, but the bulbs inside I did upgrade a couple years ago as well. I am going to end up getting rid of these though. I think I'm going to make a custom front bumper myself once I get a welder here. And I'm going to kind of try and go off of like a rock runner kind of vibe, but throw my own kind of touches on it. So like the new C4 rock runner bumper is super cool looking, but I think I kind of want to add my own texture to it. Let's see here. So yeah, we got the TRD Pro or TRD Sport hood scoop there. And for lighting, basically all my lighting all around, you just get these off of Alibaba for like $8. I believe these are the 5-inch ones, and honestly, they work pretty good. They've also got that the surround amber lighting. You guys can see that on my Instagram if you'd like, because it's harder to see during the day. And right now, honestly, the front suspension's kind of depressing. Right now we're just sitting on the stock uppers and stock lowers with a 3-inch rough country lift on there right now. Those shocks were free. One of my buddies was upgrading to Kings and just so that I could have them, and I was on stock, struts on the front with like spacers, so I jumped on that pretty quick. I mean, rough country gets a bad rap, but it beats stock, honestly, so I'm cool with it. And right now I am on just 33s, and they are pretty cheap all-terrain tires. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks, it's kind of dumb, but I might be jumping to 37s. I honestly don't know yet, since these tires are just kind of garbage, and I don't have any miles on them either, and they're already dry rotting, so I do want to avoid that as best I can. But the wheels right now, they are 17x9 Falcon wheels. I believe these are TX1 Apollos, and they've definitely been pretty good. At least I like the way they look, but the paint on them, like the finish, has been chipping like crazy. So they are sending me replacements, which is great customer service on their part, because I was a little worried I was gonna, just be kind of stuck with it. I'll show you the ones that are starting to chip in the back a little bit. This one's not as bad, but since it's starting, I just wanted to make sure I was getting replacements for them. As you can see in there though, I do have an 1.25 inch spacer. I have that all around so I can clear the long travel in the back. But those are from Orion Tech, and I believe I do have like a 15% discount with them. They're really like inexpensive spacers, but they are hub centric. So honestly, if you're looking at spacers, I don't think it matters really on brand, just as long as they are hub centric. They're not going to go anywhere. So that's just something to look into. I do also have some rock lights in here. We've got front, let's see, there's another one right there and right there. They're also aux beam, and I'm definitely replacing those. Like, they're trash, honestly. I think they're $80 for a pack of 12, and they are just not serving at all what they should be doing. So I'm gonna get rid of them. Probably get something else like some diodes or something. But as for the front, that's basically it for everything. I'll go into the engine bay in a little bit and I'll show you that I've got a cold air intake and a beefed up, what's it called? I'll come back to that. I don't even remember what it's called. Whatever it is that charges your battery, I can't even remember. But I got a beefed up one that produces more power, so my battery doesn't die with all these lights. But we'll go ahead and we will move to the back of the truck here, because I'll go over the interior and a tire thing here in just a moment, but I want to get the back out of the way for you. So we'll move back there and I'll get right back to you guys. Alright, so we're in the back. This is the pride and joy of it all, are the rear kings. They are 14-inch 2.5 smoothies back there, and I did get the adjusters so that way I can have that kind of control. And I do have the bumps, excuse me, and I'm actually working with with Accutune on this. It's been about 1.5 years, honestly, where my bump stops, they rusted out within like the first 2 weeks of them being on. So they reached out to Kings for me and connected me with their customer service, and it's been 1.5 years, and I have probably reached out to King like once a month, honestly, trying to get a hold of them, and I have yet to receive a response. So honestly, if anyone has any contact on how to get a hold of them so I can get those bump stops replaced, that'd be great. I mean, I've even noticed as well, like the finish on this is also just kind of gone to garbage, and I try to clean these all the time. And I mean, I did just go off-roading this the other day, so they obviously don't look clean, but like these types of spots on here and stuff, like I can't get those to come off. So I'm honestly hoping there's something they can do to help me out with this. But I will say I do love the suspension. It's great, and it handles so well. Like, it's got the archive garage hammers back there and stage 2 devers. Like, it's amazing. The rear end like handles perfectly. That's why the front is so disappointing. Like, I just want to get that done. I think my goal in the long run is I really do want to get the RCLT in the front, just because of how much that thing can handle, and it's just so impressive. Like, I would love to get something like that. But let's see here. Same wheels. Ooh, actually, I think I can show you here where the chipping is happening. So we've got some here, like that's the paint chipping off. I believe it's the back left wheel back there that is seriously chipping. So I will show you guys that in a moment. I did get pulled over by a state trooper for not having mud flaps on. He wrote me a fix-it ticket, so I had to throw those on, as horrible and ugly as they are, and they definitely don't fit. But you know, it was good enough to get that ticket cleared, so I made sure to do that. And then we've got some rock lights up there, and I do have some more wired up back there. And as you'll notice, I don't have any fender liners. So, because I trimmed all of this up about 1.5 years ago, because I was going to go to bigger tires. As some of you know, I jumped the truck and I destroyed the whole front end, like snapped both struts in half. So instead of getting 35s then, I had to get the front suspension redone back to stock. So this has been a long time coming where I want to get newer tires, but you know, you win some, you lose some, and things just get more expensive. So I did have to put these fender washers on here, just because these used to flap all the time and kind of come loose. And due to that, and I have replaced these brackets back here that hold the fender in place several times, and the first time they broke off, I was like, oh, they'll be fine, until I realized that it was splitting the ends here. Both sides have this issue where the fenders have completely just cracked. So I think the plan here is to get fiberglass. I do want to wide body it, you know, get like 4 inches in the front, and I think it's either 3.5 or 4 in the back. I was working with Advanced Fiberglass for that, to try and get a deal going on there, and I'm not sure if we've finalized anything just yet. I do want to try and work with them a little bit more, just kind of get more in my price range a little bit, because I am a college student, and trying to live like a college student and mod a truck stinks. So if you know, you know. And we go up to the bed rack here. We do have the CBI roof rack height bed rack, so it meets right up with the bed rack that I have up top. That's also with CBI or Prinsu, either one. It's the same company, honestly. And I do have that wired up, and I did put like wire clips on here, so we'll see how that goes. We got another Tacoma dude that just pulled up over here. He's probably just checking out the truck and saw I was recording and is now leaving. See you, dude. We'll see if he comes over. Just waved, so we'll see what happens. But I do have these wide up to clips so they can unplug if I want to slide the bed rack off. But right now I do have some Pelican cases on here, and they are Volt, I believe 200s. I think they're gun cases, but I don't use them for that. So I have my let's see, my traction boards mounted up there, and honestly, they're cheap enough where they're honestly kind of like just for looks. Like, they're mounted on there, they're not going anywhere. And I do have flag mounts when I do want to, like, you know, put some flags on there or something. I have that on there. I don't use it very often, since every flag I've tried to put on there, they always end up ripping just from the wind. So they're honestly kind of like hand holders now or whatever it is. But inside these cases, I have my, I believe my jumper cables and like first aid and some more recovery stuff are on that side. The other side, I have my air hoses, and I believe I have a handheld compressor in there just in case my in-bed compressor doesn't work. So I've got those in there, and I've honestly never had any issues with these cases. I just popped some holes in the back of them and lined them up. I did used to have them actually on the roof up there back when I had a tent, and then when I switched it, I got rid of the tent, I ended up putting the cases on the top of the bed rack, but I ended up not liking that as much, and I decided to move them to the sides, and I actually like the look of the side a lot better. Like, if I pull it over here, I just like how that sticks out a little bit. It does cause quite a bit of wind resistance, which is unfortunate, so it tanks gas mileage. I think I'm getting like 13 or 14 miles per gallon right now. So who knows? I've considered taking the bed rack off and putting on a bed cover, since I have a couple of them lying around. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm open to options and trying stuff out, so we'll see what happens there. And as I was saying with like the front bumper, how I want to make my own, I do want to make my own custom rear swing out bumper as well, just to try and, like, you know, get some high clearance stuff. Actually, I might as well show you this thing too. Just I think last week I did cut my exhaust here so it's more high clearance, and this will pass emissions because it is before all of that over there. So it still goes up and arcs down, and then that just, like, it's almost right to the tip. Like, that's just the tip exhaust that I had already on the truck. I think it's the TRD exhaust tip. It honestly, I don't think does anything. So I just slid that on, tightened it back up, and now I don't hit anything on it. So that's the nice part. I did have to cut the bolt though off of the hanger because it was just not coming off. So I mean, I don't plan on doing anything else with that. So it works for me, honestly. So yeah, let's move on to the back bumper area. So back here I also have the matching AlphaRex taillights going on, and I just love the sequential look with all of them. Just amber and sequential just looks great. But other than that, that's honestly really all that's going on back there. I normally run my spare tire, like, the bed right now is just gross, but I normally run my spare tire against the back there, and I'll have this ratchet strap holding it in place. But when I was going to the tire shop to talking about getting new tires, I just took it out and I haven't put it back in. I guess I will show you this though. Actually, this is super cool. So in this area right here, let's undo this. It needs to be cleaned out, but I have a twin compressor, my ARB compressor there, and it comes with a mount and everything to put it back there. And this has been an absolute game changer. Just like being able to air up, air down super quick has been fantastic. And it also allows me to eventually have front and rear air lockers, which is definitely the goal here. Once I'm getting bigger tires and I'm looking to get a re-gear going on, that's when I'm going to get air lockers for them. But that all just costs money. And like I said, I'm a college student. I can't afford to do any of this stuff anyways. So we'll get that back in there. Okay, and we'll move our way over this side. So as I said, the cracking on this is just absolutely horrible. So I don't know if anybody knows how to get fiberglass for cheap. Let me know, because I'm so tired of it. This squeaks, by the way. whenever I'm driving. I hear it over my music, and it's terrible. I hate it. I believe that's all for exterior. I guess we'll move over to interior stuff, and I'll go over these trail doors that I have here as well. But yeah, I'll go on ahead and get onto that for you guys and let you know what we got going on. Alright guys, so I did want to go over my doors here. So as you guys will see in one of the other videos where I go over on how to install these, or if you just want to learn how to take like the doors off, or put on your own custom doors if you want to make some tube doors or something. In that video it'll show you how to do all of that. And I don't know if it's in the video or not, I can't remember, but I did take off my 4Runner mirrors that I have. I found a way to get them to just bolt in over here. They are not wired up just because I don't really want to have to get another wiring harness for the doors. I have looked into it, and it's like $300 to $500 to get the door harnesses, which I honestly, if I could find cheaper, I totally would, so I could like wire everything up so it'll lock and everything. Like right now, I've looked at it. I might get some locking versions of these so I can lock this. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's just open, but I'm honestly not worried. I have tracking devices on everything in here, so if anything ever got stolen, I honestly know where it is, and they also won't make a sound either. So if anyone tries to take anything, good luck finding them. So I try to put in a lot of consideration into making sure my stuff is safe. I'm also getting a welder here in just a little bit. I think I'm going to make some like mole panel things up here, I think, where they can unlatch and swing down and hook onto the door when I'm not in it. Like same for the back as well. So it'll be like, I guess, a cage in the front. So like it'll take a key to really get in there, be able to hop, like, so you can't hop in there, you know, and try and take something. And honestly, good luck squeezing through those, honestly. So it's just kind of a work in progress. I mean, I've got dash cams and radar detectors, all that stuff. So it's all being protected regardless. But I will say the 4Runner mirrors, like when they're wired up and plugged in and they're on the stock doors, like it's amazing. Honestly, you can get any like 4Runner mirrors if you want. They don't bolt up perfectly, but they're pretty close where you do have to put a couple holes in it. But if you have any questions about how to install like 4Runner mirrors, I think it's an updated look to the Tacoma, and I think they look good when they're on there. But that's just me. If you guys have questions about the 4Runner mirrors, I'm happy to, you know, show you guys how to do all that. But yeah, let's hop inside here. We'll go over the flooring. As I've mentioned in a couple other videos, is I did vinyl the flooring here, just so that way, because, you know, doors are off, it's going to get wet, so it doesn't soak in anywhere. It stays all right there, and I can either just dry it out if I want or vacuum it out, so it doesn't go in anywhere else, which is really good. It also stays really clean most of the time. If you go out in the desert or you're, you know, going mudding or gets dusty, it does settle on the bottom, but it honestly takes like 2 minutes to clean, if that. Just spray some water, like soapy water down there or vinyl cleaner, and take a brush and then vacuum it up, and it's done. It looks brand new. And then over here we have the Corbeau seats. These are the Trailcat edition, and holy cow guys, like these things are absolutely amazing. I mean, when I first got them installed, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about them because they seemed really snug, and I couldn't slide the brackets back as far as I could in the stock ones. But after like a couple days, they definitely broke in, and I'm actually really comfortable with how they sit now. It really does kind of feel like a race car or like a race truck now, which is kind of cool because I do like the whole Baja style of things. I mean, I've got a freaking Baja Blast in the cup holder right there, so I mean, it's honestly just super nice. And they also have seat warmers on them too, which have been amazing, especially since I definitely put the doors on a little too early at the beginning of April, and it was still pretty cold, and those seat warmers just made all the difference for me. But yeah, if you guys are really considering upgrading, you know, your seats, like Corbeau is definitely the way to go. So I give them mad props, and they're local to Utah too, so I wanted to help out a, you know, local Utah company, and they've just been absolutely fantastic, and their customer service is great. We'll move on over here a little bit. So I do have these empty slots right here. I did have stuff in them, but I'm not sure what I want to put in them anymore. I think I want to mount a phone mount right here that I can just charge my phone while I'm driving. We'll see what happens there, because I do not have a rear locker. Surprisingly, for the TRD Pro, mine did not have one. So I don't know if it was when it was in an accident before I bought it, they just replaced the rear axle and just didn't bother to put one with a e-locker on it. I don't know, but the slot was empty when I got it, so that is the kind of the downside, but I'm going to put air lockers in anyways, so I guess it is what it is there. But I did also paint the interior, the trim pieces, white. So we can look at that there for you, along with up there and inside here. As you can see here, that is not a stock shifter either. That is actually also out of a 4Runner that I just picked up a couple weeks ago from where was it from? Tacoma Lifestyle. I went over there. It's also 4Runner Lifestyle and Tundra Lifestyle. And one of my friends, his name is Tacoma Jordan on Instagram and on YouTube. He was the first person to figure out that you could do this. So I went over and I was like, sign me up, I'm buying one. And it honestly just adds a whole new look to the truck rather than that, stock chrome shifter that's just, it's not great looking, honestly. And I did also paint that area as well. You might remember with the stock ones is it's like black and chrome as well. I didn't like that, so I got rid of it. And we have our aux beam switch panel there. But yeah, that has been absolutely great. I love having that there. Gives you a lot of customization abilities. And if we look here in the center, we have my TopDisplay head unit, and this has been absolutely fantastic to use. Sounds great. Everything's excellent with it. And for the price, it's honestly worth it. Like, I believe I paid about $600 for that. And then they actually ended up refunding me for it because I made a YouTube install for them. So they were great to work with and allowed me to test out their product. And it's amazing. So if you guys have any questions about this, let me know. It does have some connecting issues that I've noticed where sometimes it doesn't quite like to connect to the iPhones, where I just have to reboot it real quick, and a reboot takes like 20-30 seconds, which doesn't happen very often, but honestly, I'm still okay with it. I have Apple CarPlay now, and it's definitely like a modern touch, so I'm happy with it, how that goes. Let's see here. I guess we can go over to sound quality. Right now, I do have some Rockford Fosgates in here, and when I get a welder, I am going to actually weld up some mounts that I can do better for the front views, because the front ones, they are just like zip tied in place behind it. Like, they don't bang on anything, so I mean, they're mounted in place, but I just want to clean all that up, make it look a little bit nicer. So that's just something to do in the future, I think. Yeah, I guess we can move over to the back as well. Let's see here. You guys can take a look at the back speakers, how I have that. Those are on mounted brackets right there. And I had to silicone them because when I first got these speakers, I was dumb and didn't test them properly, and I ended up ripping them. So, you live and you learn. So I have them siliconed up, and they still work and sound great. So I'm comfortable with that. And in the back seats here, I have some rough country seat covers, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of these seat covers. So I'm definitely gonna try and work with Corbeau or ask them if they have a rear bench seat that can go in the back, and I'm going to custom make some brackets so I can still fold them up and over so I can still reach what I'm going to show you here behind these seats. But no, the rough country seats, they just haven't held up. Like, I don't even know what this was that happened here, but they don't weather well, and I've only had them on here, I think it's been like 8 or 9 months, and they are just extremely faded. Even when the doors were on, like, they are just so faded, and they just don't hold up well, and they rip and they tear. So if you guys are really thinking about getting these seat covers, I'd honestly just hold off and either get new seats or you get like professionally made covers. Like, I think I paid like $200 or $300 for front and rear seat covers, and honestly, like, they make good shocks, I think, for the money, but I'm not a fan of the seat covers. But I also don't like that gray look, so they're just going to be on there until I get new seats because gray just sticks out and doesn't match anything else. So it is what it is there, but I will give a pause here real quick, and then I will show you guys what I've got behind these seats. All right, guys, this is what we have behind the back seats. We've got 2 of the 10-inch Rockford Fosgate subs back here. They are the slim fit, so they can fit behind the seats. For the longest time, I actually took out these back panels here just because I didn't want them in there. I wanted more space. I had a different amplifier at the time too, so it wouldn't have fit. But when I realized that I could get these to fit, I would just need to trim them up a little bit so that way they would fit both the subs. Slap them back in there, and it has just been absolutely perfect. I do have a bunch of wiring just because I didn't want to cut anything. I wanted to make sure I had enough. Just in case I wanted to have more flexibility, I would have that. But my last amplifier I had a Bose audio system. I think it was a 3700 watt amplifier, and it completely stopped working on me after, like, I want to say a year of owning it. Excuse me. And I reached out to them, and their customer support was absolutely fantastic. Like, they reached out to me and they said it had a warranty on it, so I would be covered there. And I was like, awesome, sounds great. And they asked just for verification that I had destroyed the amplifier because they didn't want to receive it back. They wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be able to be fixable, basically. So they had me take a hammer to the terminal ends, and I basically just got to beat the crap out of it. And it was honestly pretty awesome because that thing was stressing me out. So it was like letting me take my stress out on it, which I'll take that deal. And they ended up sending me this Planet Audio amplifier because they were out of stock of the 3700 watt one. And honestly, like, I was a little iffy about it, but they said this one was an upgrade. So I checked it out, and honestly, I loved it. And it even allowed me to have way more audio ports and more flexibility as well. So it has been fantastic. And it's even actually a smaller unit. It's a little bit shorter, and it's like half the width, basically. It used to be super wide, and now it's perfect. It fit perfectly there. It doesn't move at all. And I'll move over to that side in just a moment, where I did have to trim quite a bit off of the plastic to make that sub work. So if you're not worried about having to trim things up, and if you're not really planning on like reselling your truck anytime soon, and you want it to make it how you want it, this is an option you can do. And it's getting to where I like it. What I plan and my goals for this truck are. It's getting pretty close. So I'll move over to the other side here real quick, and I'll show you how I did that. But the sound upgrade is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I'll move over there, and I will show you guys how I did the trimming on that side. Okay guys, so we're on this side now. So I'm going to show you here. The sun is kind of bright here, but you can see how on the other end over there, it's like a smooth lip all the way down. I did end up trimming off this side and just going straight down and removing all of that, the bezel there, and how it kind of stuck out. So I removed all of that, so this could just kind of fit in between the bracket there and then be snug over here. So it fits pretty perfectly. Like, it doesn't even move at all when I push on that there. So it's not going anywhere. And when the seats are up, it doesn't quite make contact with it either. So it's still pretty great. But like I was saying, like, these seats, they fold down. I would love to get some, like, a bench row seat here that I could still get that ability to lean forward, so I could still access the wiring and the speakers back here if I need to. But these seats they've got to go. So I'm going to work on that here in a little bit, see what I can do. Let's see here. And then over here, if we kind of go up to the roof here, it is still gray. I think I'm going to try and paint that this summer, how I painted my doors, like the interior panels. They used to be gray, now they're black. So I think I'm going to work on that there, see what I can do. I know in the future, this is pretty crazy. I think in the next, hopefully the next couple of years, once I graduate, I've only got a couple of years left doing that. I do want to put in a panoramic sunroof or moonroof in here. And I have heard that you can take the ones out of the Jeep Grand Cherokee or something like that. You can make those fit, supposedly. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to get that professionally installed, though, because I don't trust myself with that. But I'm going to get that on there. And yeah, honestly, we're just going to see where it goes. As far as that is, it's kind of the interior stuff. Maybe get some black seat belts. I do actually want to get a harness bar, I think, as well. Like, I want to get rid of these seat belts in the front. When I found online that there is a roll cage kit you can get for like $800, where you just have to weld it yourself, and where they provide everything cut, pre-made, and everything for you. And I might just get the bar that goes from like here all the way across, and then just mount the harnesses on the back of that and have them go through the harness holes there. I mean, that's what they're made for. So I don't know. It's all just planning and thinking, seeing how it goes. And I will actually go over the engine bay that I have over there. So I'll go over how I have that I'll tell you though, beforehand, the wiring in there is horrendous. It needs to be worked on. So if you want to comment on it, go for it. I know it's gross, but I'll show you guys here in just a second. I'll get the hood up and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so here in the engine bay, I don't have the engine cover on. I did try to paint it and it did not come out well a couple years ago, so I've just kind of rocked it without it, honestly. So I don't know, it is what it is there, but as you can see, my wiring is horrendous. It needs to be worked on. I actually do want to get the dual battery setup kind of thing, just so I can have more peace of mind and not be worried about this one battery here. But down there, I don't know if you guys can see, it's an alternator. That's what it was that I got beefed up there. It puts out a lot more power to recharge the battery. And I also got it in a gold color because, I don't know, why not? You know, if you're going to add something like that, might as well make it look good. But that's it right there. It'll focus a little better. But that is my alternator there. Since my other one was kind of going out, so I replaced it, and it's been great since. We do have the aux beam wiring right there where everything goes into that, and all these wires basically run up different places, that side, and up the liners and all that good stuff. Yeah, we got the fuse there for the aux beam. That fuse right there is for the amplifier in the back, just so that way it has enough power, and if it ever tries to overshoot, it'll kick itself off, and it's waterproof and everything. So I just want to make sure nothing was going to happen there, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to last as long as I needed to. And then these open wires here, right there, those actually will go to the air compressor. It'll turn on for the lockers. There's two pairs of those for front and rear, and those will end up getting wired up to the switch panel as well once that's there. So right now they're totally chilling how they are. And then we've got the wiring over here that goes up to the front camera there, that goes right to the head unit. And the best part about this is my K&N cold air intake that I have set up. I absolutely love the way that it makes the truck sound, especially when you're going under, you know, under the highways, the passes, and going through tunnels. I think it just has one of the coolest sounds ever. I did just change the air filter as well because, like I said, I don't have fender liners. I did mount some stuff up right there to try and, like, you know, block out some debris, and that worked for a while until I decided to get one of these the filter wear things where they're basically water resistant or waterproof and debris proof, basically. So it keeps the air filter nice and clean, so I should get a lot more longevity out of it, which is absolutely fantastic. So I've been really happy with that so far. I think that's been on there for maybe a month now, and I did test it the other day, and it is, that filter in there is still red. Like, it's clean. So I am very happy with that. I was also, a couple of my buddies have also started tubbing their trucks, where they are cutting away, you know, the insides here just a little bit, because they're running 37s now. Depending on how soon I get the RCLT, I may end up just tubbing it anyways, just so I can have that peace of mind and some more up travel going on, especially if I go bigger than 37s. Like if I were to go like 40s or something like that, I would definitely want to have that peace of mind. I've also considered throwing some rear airbags underneath the suspension back there, just so that way it gives me a little more, you know, control over obstacles. So we'll see how that goes there with that. As far as engine modifications, that's about it. Like, if any of you guys know Miso Customs, they've got their Tacoma right now that's got a freaking Hellcat engine in it. I'm honestly waiting for them to finish that so I can see how they do it, because I don't know, one day after I graduate, I don't know, this is my first car essentially. I had a motorcycle in high school and everything, and when I graduated I sold it and got this truck, and it is, I honestly plan to keep it forever and just keep building it, and whenever one thing happens and something breaks, replace it, make it better. So when the engine dies, or if I have something happen with it, we're getting a freaking Hellcat and throwing it in there. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. But as far as engine goes, that's about all the modifications I have put onto the engine itself. I think I do kind of want to upgrade the radiator in there just to help with some more cooling. This does have the towing package on it, so I don't know, it's just got a couple extra upgrades on there. But I think the next thing for the engine bay is probably getting a dual battery setup, just so I can have that, like I said, that peace of mind. Maybe add some solar panels to the bed rack or something. I don't know. We'll see there. But yeah, I will go over some other stuff here and let you guys know, final thoughts, that kind of stuff. So just a moment, I'm going to put the hood down and I'll be right back to you guys. All right, guys, so I got the hood back down, and I actually did want to notice or point out one more thing is when I do get the fiberglass and it's, coming out a little bit more, I kind of want to get a carbon fiber hood, I think those look pretty sick, especially once I get rid of, this front bumper, and that's aftermarket. Like, it'll be black there. This will be, like the one white spot on the front of the truck. I might even like carbon wrap this or something like that. I don't know, but have the hood scoop still there, and then it'll have like extra vents off the side out of the carbon fiber. I don't know. I've seen a couple trucks like that, and I think it looks okay. I'm not quite sold on it, but I guess we'll see what kind of happens there. I did also want to point out there is I have that TredCred logo up there. If you ever go, off-roading and you want some cool patches or anything like that, TredCred's definitely the way to go. Like, the guys that run that, they're super cool and they are great friends, and they've been happy to support me with my build so far. They've even hooked me up with a couple of these patches, and I do think they are stunning. Like, you can see all the other ones here that I have where I just took like stickers and I put them on the back of Velcro tape, so that way I can still like put things up there. But then you've got the TredCred patches, and just like, they've got trails, they've got states and everything. Whatever you want to get, you can check them out. Like, they've got some great stuff, and it's been a pleasure getting to go off-roading with those guys. And I guess the nice thing is too is TredCred, like, they sponsor a lot of Jeep stuff, and it's just kind of nice that I'm the dude with the Tacoma, getting to kind of hang out with some of the Jeep dudes, get to combine both worlds. You don't have to be different. We can all have fun together. But that's basically so far the build as far as it goes. I don't have any skid plates actually, now that I think about it, underneath. I do have the stock one that I did take off that I need to put back on. I think I'm also going to custom make some skids as well, because I don't know. Like I said, I'm a college kid. I don't got money for that. But yeah, so far this is the build, and I've got like way too many of these lights. I think I've got like 18 around the whole truck, I think, at like $8 a piece. I got them like a year ago, and I don't know, they get the job done. They're basically just knockoff Bajas that just aren't quite as bright, but they work. But just if you guys have any thoughts or any like upgrades you think I should test out or check out or something like that, or anything you guys would change to this, like if you would lose the roof rack or the bed rack or anything, just kind of like let me know. This is something that I want to start doing some more, and I think it's pretty great. And yeah, let's see here. Oh, I also have one more surprise to show you guys here, so stay tuned real quick while I go get it for you. Alright guys, so this is it right here. I opened my own Tacoma shop, and it is called Tacoma Mania, and basically on there I've got a couple things like apparel, like t-shirts and hoodies and beanies and hats, that kind of stuff with the logo on it. And I have added a couple accessories. It is currently still under construction a little bit, so if you do want to check out some of the apparel stuff, it's honestly like premium products, really. Like, I didn't want to go cheap and only get like $9 t-shirts made, that kind of stuff, because one, the prints on those look terrible and they shrink in the dryer, they get uncomfortable, they don't last long. I basically wanted to get something that was going to last, so I did get a couple t-shirts and hoodies myself, just to make sure that the quality is up to par for you guys, because that's the last thing I want, is slap a logo on a shirt and then be like, yeah, go ahead and buy it, make me money. I'm not making nearly any money off of these. This is more just for you guys to represent the channel, or represent, just the fact that you're a Tacoma owner. That's kind of all it really was there. So I don't plan to gain anything from this in the slightest, but I did want to let you guys know that I do have a shop now, and if you guys want to be a part of it, like, reach out, send me some DMs, and I can put your Tacoma or your 4Runner or your Tundra, whatever it is, on the site. Like, I'm happy to try and reach out to the community, see what we can do, to help better everybody else, essentially, and be proud of what you're building. So just want to say, like, that's the back there, right there with the logo. I do have a couple options on the site right now as well, where you can have just the front there. Like, the front the front like breast area that has just the small little Tacoma Mania logo, and there are options where you can adjust that on the front and have the back be empty. But those are on the side as well, and I'll be adding more. If you guys actually have anything you would like to add to the shop, anything that you're thinking about purchasing, let me know. I can throw them on there, see if I can get you guys a discount or something. I am going to be adding some like cleaning supplies and everything for how to keep your trucks clean. For me right now, that is a harder thing to do without having doors. But that is something I just wanted to point out to you guys. I've been wanting to make my own Tacoma shop for a couple years, and I kind of just kept chickening out on it and decided, you know what, I'm a college student, I'm graduating in computer science, I might as well, get practicing, like make my own website and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys do want to check any of this stuff out, it is just tacomamania.com. Like that's just me. There's nothing else there, and the profits for that are extremely little. Like its price basically is just to cover the manufacturing of the product and like shipping and stuff like that. But that's honestly it. But yeah, if you guys have any further questions or want to see something different, just let me know. If you guys want to see some videos of hitting the trails or anything like that, I'm happy to show you guys some of those. But as of right now, that is the truck currently. And yeah, like I was saying, have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and go hit the trails and go do something this weekend. See ya. Bye.